Hello all. I want to do a video today about horses and their digestive tract and a fact that a lot of people may not be aware of. Did you know that horses cannot physically vomit? Okay. A lot of people do not realize that. When a horse eats and ingests anything, it is a one-way track, folks. It goes in and it cannot come back out, at least not up the way that it went in. So that is why horses are so prone to something that is called colic, which is a very, very dangerous condition that horses can get if they have an upset stomach or upset digestion, because once it goes in, it's got to go down, it's got to process all through their guts, and then it's got to come out, okay? It can't go in and back out like a dog or a cat. They just physically cannot do it. So it's got to pass through, through the stomach, through the intestines, all that. And if they ingest something that is bad for them or does not agree with them or potentially stops them up or blocks them, then that can result in something called colic, which is very, very bad for horses because it can actually bind them up. It gets packed in there and they can't process it. They can't go to the bathroom, and this is why it's so critically important that you watch your horses and you watch your herd. You watch for very strange behavior. For instance, you want to watch for a change in appetite. You want to watch to see if they are pawing, or if they are sweating when they should not be sweating, or if they are just acting very agitated. They're kicking at their side. They're rolling, and I'm not talking about a good roll. There are good rolls and there are bad rolls. A lot of horses will roll just because they're scratching their back. It feels good to them, but then there's another kind of roll where they're on the ground and they're clearly uncomfortable. It looks like they're suffering. They're laying there and they're just rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling and won't stop. And in those cases, it's a pretty good indicator that there may be something wrong. So these are things that you really want to keep an eye out for within your horses and your herd. You want to make sure that those signs, especially if they're coupled together. So if they're rolling, if they're sweating, if they're off their food, their appetite is weird, they're hanging their head, they're not acting normal. Sometimes they will even like drool, saliva will come out of their mouths. And it will kind of like drip. I mean, I know all this sounds disgusting, but these are all signs that you have to watch out for. She's got a little burr stuck in her forelock here. I'll have to get that. Anyway, you definitely want to pay attention to these things, folks. And if you see any signs of those things happening, I would suggest that you call a vet immediately, because colic is nothing to play around with. Neither is any kind of other, stomach upset. It may not be colic necessarily, but you do not want to screw around with any type of digestive upset in a horse, because it can change so quickly. I mean, on a dime, you can go from, oh, my stomach doesn't feel good, to starting to colic, because there's all different kinds of colic. Colic is basically just a gastrointestinal upset. And I mean, they can stress colic, they can gas colic, they can impaction colic, there's so many different things that can cause it, and you really, really want to be aware of it. So, remember that. Remember when your horse ingests something that they cannot, once it goes in, it's not coming out unless it's coming out that back end or it's coming out through surgery. Those are your only two options. So remember that, keep an eye on your herd, and watch for any of those signs. And if you do see those signs, absolutely call the vet and take some action. All right. Hope this helps. If it does, please hit those 4 buttons. It really helps us out. And we'll see you on the next one.